And those are the standards that it applies to. So PPE, and up here in the top paragraph, it talks about why it doesn't pay for some of this stuff. It says OSHA based its decision on the fact that this type of equipment is very personal and is often used outside the workplace, and that is taken by workers from job site to job site and employer to employer. Okay, so that's why OSHA doesn't pay for a lot of that stuff. Okay, sunscreen, you can use it at your kid's baseball game. Okay, so yes.
What about like water on a job site, like water?
I don't think they have to provide you with that.
They do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, on a job site, they don't have to provide you with water.
Oh, we got dinged for it at SMS for not providing water on the stitch sites.
On the what?
On the house, actual building site where the house was going, we got dinged for not having water on the location.
Because they're not protected against dehydration.
Yeah, you also have to provide,
Are you?
way to use the restroom too.
Yeah, you gotta have a.
Hold on. He asked if they had to provide drinking water. Okay, bottled water, right?
Yeah.
Or jug water, whatever.
Full of water. But yeah, our stitch crews got dinged for it at SMS.
We have a freaking water fountain right up here. They don't have to give you bottled water and stuff.
It's like
But
on a
there's
construction
access.
site.
Like if you're
You're out
away
in the middle
from
of the
running
desert
water.
working in the sun, they are required to provide water, hydration.
Oh. I don't know if they're required or not. They
Yeah,
might be.
It is a requirement.
Is it?
Yeah.
We can look it up. In OSHA, which we're going to
At
do.
least it used to be.
Okay, we're going to look that up so you guys remember. If they have to, we'll figure out where it says that. Okay.
No, they don't have to buy it.
See, handout 7, covered that. Okay, what are some of the responsibilities employers have related to OSHA record keeping? Employers must set up a reporting system. I'm going to read you the answers because I'm not feeling real great, so we're going to move on here. Employers must set up a reporting system and inform workers of how to report, maintain an OSHA 300 log, and make it available to workers, post the annual summary, and report fatalities and the hospitalization of 3 or more workers to OSHA. That's this form again. Okay. What section of the OSHA Act prohibits employers from discriminating against workers for exercising their safety and health rights? Section 11C. What are some types of PPE that employers must pay for?
Hard hat.
Hard hats,
Safety glasses.
hearing protection, safety glasses. Okay. OSHA topic 4. What do the standards say? There's 4 main OSHA standards. General industry, construction, maritime, and agriculture. Okay? OSHA, it covers an incredible amount of stuff. I'm going to break the standards out here in a minute and show you. Where there are no specific OSHA standards, employees must comply with the General Duty Clause, Section 5A1, which says what? We already read it.
The coverall for, you get the ball back.
They got to provide you a place of work that's free from hazards, all right, safety, and whatever else it says. Hold on. General Duty Clause, you should remember this one.
Adding new sheet.
Do what?
A new sheet when you get a chance.
Okay. How many people need to sign it?
2.
Okay. Who is it? Brady and Joe? Okay. I'll get you one. Okay. Each employer shall furnish to each of his employees employment and a place of employment which are free from recognized hazards that are causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm to its employees. Okay? That's called the General Duty Clause, Section 5A1. Okay? And that's what this was talking about earlier. Okay, most frequently cited standards. I'm going to go, hey, there it is, it came up behind it. There's the fact sheet. Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
I didn't want to do that. OSHA. Website. Okay, there's the website, right? If you go to, I think it's regulations. Okay, regulations, that's all the regulations. It tells you here the most accessed general regulation standards. That's what people look at the most. Okay, bloodborne pathogens has come. Let me get the mouse out of the way. Okay, so you can see this tells you what people look at the most. Bloodborne pathogens is number one. Okay, but if you look over here, 29. Let's see, it's 1910. That's general industry. Okay, that's what we're working on. Standard 1910, 29 CFR 1910. Table of contents, 1910 subpart A. Okay, just pay attention and see how many we got here. Okay, this is all 1910. And we're going. Subpart G, subpart H. These are all standards. I have a book. This is easier to use. This has a lot more detail. If you have a computer available, we're still going. Electrical, right? There's a lot of them. Okay. These are easier to use. They have extra information. I'll show you why here in a second. You got a CDL. There's your OSHA stuff with CDL. UV, toxic and hazardous substances. That one's a pretty big one. That's a really big one. That's pretty big. Okay.
Is that one big, Mike?
It has, if you go to the OSHA website and go under regulations, it will give you all the regulations for all the standards. General industry is 1910. Construction is 1926. The maritime and agriculture are like 1915, 1917, and something else. Do what? Has to do with boats, water. Okay, so this is the next one we're going to do, walking and working surfaces. General, let's see, what can we look at that's going to, shipyard employment, you guys don't care about that. Okay, let's go down to 1910-23. It's under subpart D, walking and working surfaces, and it's got 1910.21, 22, 23, and on down you can read. But if you go to 1910-23, this tells you all of them. 23A, 23A1, 23A2, 23A3, all the way down, okay, and it breaks them up. If you go to one of these that's in gray, okay, just like that, you see the difference between the ones in blue and underlined. If you click on the ones in blue and are underlined, then that takes you to this little page that has questions that have been asked how to interpret this regulation. Okay? So in 1984, there was one question on how to interpret 23A. So if you click on that again, it will bring up the guy who wrote it. This is a response from the guy down here, and it explains how OSHA interprets that rule. This rule is not binding by OSHA. Okay, so if OSHA says, I interpret this to be that, that doesn't mean your employer can't interpret it to be something else. Okay, if it doesn't specifically say in the regulation that this guardrail or this handrail has to be 42 inches to the top, if it says the guardrail has to be of reasonable size, OSHA might interpret that to be 42 inches because that's the waist of a 6-foot tall dude or something like that. But if it doesn't say that in the regulation, your employer doesn't have to interpret it that way. These are just how OSHA interprets it. It's a good thing for companies to follow the OSHA interpretations, okay, because they want to stay on the good side of OSHA, but it doesn't mean they have to, all right? So, but this is why OSHA is more helpful, or why this website is more helpful than the book, because it's easier to navigate between them. You don't have to flip all these pages. So, let's find one that's interesting. Whoops, we don't want that. Okay, I looked at one down, which one did I look at? I can't remember, one of these. Let's just look at that, 1910-23B. And 1910-23B talks about protection for wall openings and holes. So you can read, there was a something in 1975 came out. And it talks about, it has to answer the question. Based on your statement that all window surface and distance 9 feet 9 inches, you can read through it, but I'm not going to read all of it. But it tells what the question was. Some of them are multiple questions, and OSHA will break it down and answer all those questions. And then the person who signs it, the guy down here, it's, yeah. Oh, baby. So this is a pretty good tool to get on the right one. All right, so let's go back to the index right there. Okay. Oh, this is all of them. Okay, 19. This is the main index, table of contents. These are all the 29 CFR codes. 1904. That's kind of what everybody. That's applicable, and that's in my standards at home. That's reporting occupational illness. 1910 is your occupational health and health standards, safety and health standards. That's general industry. 1915 shipyard. 1917 marine terminals. 1926 is for construction. So you can see all the ones that apply there. We just want 1910. So let's look at the. I want you guys to find out where you look at for a bottle of water to see if they got to provide water. So part A. Where would you guys think it would be at? Occupational health and environmental control? No, that doesn't apply. PPE, general requirements, eye and face, respiratory, head, foot.
General environmental controls, right?
General environmental, sanitation, temporary labor camps, non-water carriers disposal, safety color code, specifications, permit. Would be there anywhere?
Maybe temporary labor camps.
Temporary, you want to look at temporary labor camps? Okay, 142, remember that one.
That's what this job's all about.
It might be in here, I just don't know, but if, 1910-142. Temporary labor camps. The site. All sites used for camps shall be adequately drained. Not be subject to periodic flooding or within 200 feet of swamps, pool. Okay. So, adequately sized. Clean and sanitary. Protection from the elements.
All sites shall be graded, ditched, and rendered free from depression in which water may become a nuisance.
Very good, Dennis. Okay, I don't see anything, but it could be here. But you guys get the picture on how to use them, right? You got to go down through the table of contents, find what applies, and then go researching. Okay? Because this is all 1910. One line in the table of contents is all of this. Okay? Oh, there's drinking water. I just saw drinking water.
Right there.
No more drinking water. 35 gallons per person per day.
It has to be approved.
That's at a labor camp. That's not a job site.